I'm worried I'm wasting my time with my job. For those of you who don't know, my job is actually writing. It's entertainment reporting and coverage, which is pretty cool. I get to write about different things. A lot of my writing is about comic book stuff, so that's mostly what I'm going to talk about today. Or comic book movie stuff, aka movies and TV shows, not the actual comic books. Like, I read them sometimes. You know how it is. I don't really, they're not really that relevant in my coverage to the actual movies and stuff. Like, I don't care about comic accuracy, and I don't care about like those little Easter eggs that pop up to do with comics. Like, it's cool that they're there. Like, it's good for the people who like them. It's just not what I'm in it for, and that's becoming an issue because when I first started looking at the comic book movie stuff, it was right between the last two Avengers movies, Infinity War and Endgame, and all the speculation was about like character arcs and how the plot was going to go for the final Avengers movie, and it was really cool. And it was just great to see all these theories popping up every day, like whole plot leaks, but they were clearly fake, but there's some good theories in there. And that's the kind of thing I like to do, and I like to examine character arcs, like speculate and look back on them after, and kind of like see how their powers are going to come into play with that. Like, for example, like Hulk kind of combining to become Smart Hulk with like Hulk and Bruce, like combining their best qualities, like that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff is cool to me, and that's kind of like what I like to talk about and what I like to write about. But since then, now with Phase 4, it's all about Easter eggs and cameos. That's what the speculation's about. Like, we want to see this character, we want to see that character. And this is like, I think Spider Man and Doctor Strange are really the big ones for this. And hopefully, after Doctor Strange is done, that will relax for a while, especially well, the cameos side. The Easter eggs will always be there, and I mean, they're fun, but like, I really want to like get into the meat of stuff, and I worry I'm wasting my time with it because so that's really the first part of this. I'm worried I wasted my time in general with this because I worry people don't care. And uh I worry I'm doing it wrong even for the people who do care. I worry that my interpretations of things are the wrong interpretation and I'm just being delusional and holding on to them because I don't like the official interpretation or the way the creators or directors or writers interpreted this thing when they were writing it. So I have to make my own version or else I'm gonna hate it and I'm just wrong for hating it and I'm just stupid. And yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'll give you a couple examples of this in previous projects just to explain where I am going into this multiverse of madness thing. Um, and yeah, it's Multiverse of Madness. Yes, the Batman just came out, and yeah, I saw it today. I don't have any opinions on it that people haven't already said, so that's done. Like the reason I got into this in the first place, and also with reality TV writing before this, like reality TV coverage writing, not writing scripts for reality shows or whatever, is that I wanted to share my opinions that I wasn't seeing as represented as much in coverage. I had my own thoughts and I interpreted things differently, and sometimes I interpreted things like turns out to be correct, and that's what I wanted to share. So that's why I got into this. And when I felt like I could do this with the comic book stuff around Infinity War, was when I really started getting into it. And then a couple years later, I joined the Direct, and now I'm on Coming Soon, and I've written for other sites in that, and I'm getting paid, and it's great. But I worry that it's just been where was I? I just worry it's been like a waste of, or it doesn't have. Maybe it hasn't been a total waste, but like I worry I'm wasting my energy on this now, and I should be doing something else at this point. I'll give you a couple examples of times I feel like I've been interpreting things incorrectly for my own purposes. I just feel so stupid even saying this. Like, why am I saying this now? Like, I feel like it's just because there's a drought in content, besides the Batman, which again, no real strong thoughts on, so I can't really write about that. And I'm just looking inward and I'm worrying about myself. And yeah, that like, for example, like, well, the big one was Iron Man, who I really connected to because of the anxiety thing, and that's why I kind of connected to the MCU as a whole and wanted to see all the movies from there from Iron Man 3 on. I actually saw all the movies from Avengers on, but I happened to see Iron Man 3 and then I wanted to see all the movies from there on because that's a big part of why. Not the only reason, but a big part of it. And so when they were kind of almost villainizing the character in future movies for doing things fueled by that problem, I'm like, well, that's not right. That's not nice. So I had to kind of make an. I don't know if I'm making something up in my head or if I'm correct or if I'm just being like having to headcanon this because the I just don't like the interpretation that the directors meant, and maybe the directors didn't mean it like this. I don't think they meant it that badly or anything, but like when they killed him off and everyone's like, oh, he was just an asshole till he snapped his fingers in Endgame. I don't like that, and it just bothers me. But the thing is, my interpretation of it was because Thanos was his trauma, and he died taking him down. He took him down. He did not let Thanos take him down. He took Thanos down, and then yes, he died doing that, and that's a whole other thing. But that's how his arc ended, and I can appreciate it in that. But like, I worry the creators didn't intend it that way, and they'd be like, look at me like I'm crazy for saying that. Another one, which is like a less serious one, I guess, was Loki, which is another show I really like Loki as well, and I really like those characters a lot too. So maybe that's why this was one that kind of bugged me. The interpretation of the love story was Loki a narcissist for loving Sylvie, his variant? Was it just him loving himself? Like, of course Loki would love himself. That's a popular comment on Facebook. That makes me really mad. But is it that, or is it him falling in love with someone else? Or is it him learning to love himself through loving her? And it just makes my brain hurt. And I like what the creators have had to say about this, so I feel like I'm right in that. Yes, he sees some of himself in her, but she's really another person. But I think this one's probably just me worrying I'm wrong, because so many people looked at that line about narcissism in the show and is like, yep, he's a narcissist, he is funny, of course he's gonna be with himself. I ship it. And like, not that I don't like it, it's just, not that I don't like the ship, I don't like the narcissism part. But yeah, so that's another thing. Although that one's probably just me being dumb. That's less of a creator thing. That's just me worrying that because of stupid Facebook comments. So now with the, not WandaVision, Multiverse Madness, which coming after WandaVision, I really liked how mental health was handled in WandaVision, I have to say. And I already talked about this a bit in my trailer reaction to Doctor Strange, but I'm worried about how Wanda is going to be portrayed in this. If she is a villain, I'm worried that she will, I'm worried people are going to be like, oh, she went crazy. She's nuts. She had mental health problems. And I'm worried it's going to be interpreted like that, and it's just going to be looked at like that, and not a lot of people are going to stand up to that because everyone's worried about cameos. And, like, of course I'm excited for cameos and all the fun and stuff, too, but, like, I really like these stories. Like, it's like a big soap opera kind of with magic powers, which I really like, with the Avengers and everything. But, yeah. So, I don't know. I'm worried about what the creator's intent with this is going to be, and maybe it shouldn't matter. Maybe I should just go with the death of the author thing. Look it up. It's not about the author actually dying. And just enjoy my own interpretation. But I worry I look stupid for writing some of these things out and thinking about some of these things. I do. I worry. Because I've written articles about all this stuff, and I just worry I look dumber and dumber. I'm worried I'm going to look dumb for defending Wanda in this movie, for example. And even possibly some other projects. We've got Moon Knight, where the main character has dissociative identity disorder. And we have Thor Love and Thunder, where Thor's picking up off from his depression in Endgame, which I don't think he'll be depressed in this one. I think it'll be less of an issue. If anything, I think the issue will be that they didn't focus in on it enough and they just, snapped it away. But I don't know. I haven't dealt with depression, I don't think, so I'm not the person to be talking about that as much. I don't feel like I'm the one who should be commenting on that like I was with the anxiety. And then Loki might have another thing called BPD, which I have some experience with, so I feel more able to comment on that because it's like the whole BPD versus narcissism thing. That's a whole other thing. Anyway, so I'm just worried I'm being dumb, and I'm worried that there's no point to me writing anymore because it's just me being stupid, and no one wants to read about it anyway, and it just makes me sad. And yeah. Sorry this video was sad. I'm sure I'll be fine. I'm sure I'll be fine soon, but I'd like to talk about this stuff if anyone else feels the same way, for people who like to write about theories and stuff. Rather than, just like cameos and stuff, just like get into the meat of the story. Like, I want to talk about that with people. Because, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be listening to the general audience and my interpretation is correct or whatever. It's just, maybe I just want to be right. I don't know. I don't want to be wrong. I'm scared to be wrong. That's it. So let me know what you think of all this. Not necessarily the plot points, just my ramblings and my worries about my own writing. And yeah, thank you.